Pharaoh had a daughter who went out with several of her servant girls to bathe in the Nile River. As they were walking along the river bank, the princess noticed the basket floating among the reeds. She sent one of her maids to pick the basket up out of the water and bring it to her. When she looked inside the basket, she was amazed to see a beautiful baby boy. She said, "Oh, this must be one of the babies of the Israeli slaves. Some mother has hidden him here so he won't be killed." The baby was probably hungry by this time, and he began to cry. This made the princess feel sorry for him, and she wanted to keep him from being harmed. "I'm going to adopt this baby as my own." Just then, Miriam, the baby's big sister, decided it was safe to come out from her hiding place, and she went to the princess and said, "Would you like me to get one of the Jewish women to nurse him while he is so small?" Pharaoh's daughter said, "Yes, please do." So Miriam went home and got her mother. The princess said, "Take this baby home and nurse him for me. I'll pay you for taking care of him." So the baby's mother got to take care of her own little boy until he was old enough to go to live with the princess and be her adopted son. The princess named the little boy Moses. Even though Moses grew up in the royal family, he never forgot that he was really one of the people of Israel. He kept in touch with his own parents and with his brother and sister. One day, when he went to visit his people, he happened to see an Egyptian hitting one of Moses' Israeli relatives. This made Moses terribly angry. He looked around to be sure nobody was watching, and then Moses killed the Egyptian, and he buried his body in the sand. Next day, he saw two Israeli men fighting with each other. He said to the one who was in the wrong, "What's the matter with you? Why are you hitting your own Israeli brother like that?" The man answered him angrily, "That's none of your business. It's not your job to be my judge. Do you plan to kill me the way that you killed that Egyptian yesterday?" And when Moses had heard that, he realized that somebody had seen that he had murdered that Egyptian. The Egyptian was beating the slave, or he was beating his relative, an Israeli motherfucking slave driver. He was like a Confederate piece of shit. And Moses is like, "Fuck that Confederate slave driving piece of shit." He realized somebody had, and then he'd be in trouble. Sure enough, Pharaoh tried to find Moses so he could arrest him and execute him for the murder, but Moses had escaped just in the nick of time. Like Indiana Jones, he left the hat, grabbed the hat real quick with the big rolling ball and then the thing with the rope. He hurried away to a place called Midian. There he saw some men being unkind to several young sisters who wanted to water their father's sheep at a well. Moses helped the girls. Their father, Reuel, was grateful to Moses, so he hired him to work as a shepherd. After a while, Reuel let Moses marry his daughter, Zipporah. Wait, this is just like Jacob. He didn't go to Midian, but he went to some other place and then saw somebody being unkind or something and then married the daughter of the shepherd, and then he became real rich by all the sheep and the lands and the... So Moses marries Zipporah. Good old Zipporah. How come nobody ever talks about Zipporah anymore? Whatever happened to Zipporah? Does anybody know? Should we get the who's who? No?